Oh.
Yeah, recovery on the road. I started in 2000, and just as a way to share my recovery story with my friends and family and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And they started sharing it with their friends, and it became more than what I wanted it to be. It became a place where people could come and not be alone anymore. Um, and it was just it became a community, and I had never dreamt it would become that. Um, so I did that in 2000. Then in 2001, I started Recover Loud, sharing stories with people in recovery, and it was a new way for me. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't into the uh, the media. I wasn't into any of that stuff. And I took a class at the Portland Media Center, and it was an instant hit. I said if 50 of my friends liked it, I'd have to keep going. But I had 500 views
I
in the
remember
first
that.
night,
Mm.
and my inbox was full. My messages were, overflowing, and it was just something that really made me feel good.
Mm.
So in 2000, 2001, I started that, and I had attempted at the time to do a weekly show, and it was airing on Portland Media, um, just here in the state, and I ended up moving from the area
Mm-hmm.
back in 2002, and things have kind of changed up. The second season, I hired a guy to film and edit and all that stuff. And
Mm.
then you know I ended up dumping him. I don't want to say dumping him, but um, I ended up going on my own for the third season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I traveled the state, meeting different people and whatnot. But
Perfect.
at that time, I started sharing the show on a platform where other nonprofit stations could pick the show up. And at last count, I was reaching 15 stations across the country, um,
That's
re-
awesome.
reaching over 1 million people.
So are
So,
these like community radio stations when you say nonprofit and things like that?
um,
Or,
television stations,
or television stations? Mm.
yes. And I was contacted last year by the Bronx, a network in the Bronx,
Oh, wow.
uh, asking me for my show. Um,
That's great.
yeah, so it became more than I ever wanted it to be. And those are the gifts of recovery. If you do something consistently and do it well, it will get noticed, and it will get you know shown to those who need it.
Mm-hmm. The payoff comes later. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
That's
uh,
terrific. Yeah.
yeah, so then I came back up here in 2022. It was difficult here in the county. There wasn't a lot of recovery. There wasn't a lot of people talking about recovery. So I had actually made some attempts trying different things. I started some meetings and whatnot, and brought the Suboxone program up here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it was testing the waters, and after 5 or 6 months, I stopped doing that. I'm not doing anything right now, um, other than working. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, I'm working for a Circle K
Okay.
convenience store,
There you go.
as the lead customer service representative.
How do you like
And yeah,
that? It sounds pretty cool.
yeah, I like it. See, formerly, when I was 21 years old, I was manager of a convenience store.
Mm,
And, when I
nice.
decided to take the job, I saw myself as starting over, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was before I got into substances. And, it really, it's given me that feeling of, I can start again and, put me back to where I was, you know.
Well, like,
I
good for
agree.
you. Um, do you see yourself as doing this for a while? You think?
Um, for now,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
um, I when I was 21, I became a store manager um, down in Farmington,
Got
and
it. Right.
I ended up moving on to another company, and I was, the manager of a convenience store. But then I decided to venture out on my own,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I started going, a different direction. I started using more. I started, doing more, and I just wasn't comfortable with everything going on.
Right.
Um, so maybe where I'm at now is where I should have stayed. Um, I'm not really sure yet. You know,
So, are you still doing any more programming for, if not counseling, for the on the road, that type of thing?
Recovery on the road is solely based on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't have much time to spend on Facebook lately.
Yeah.
The site's still there. People still post and but I'm not recruiting people. I'm not out there pushing the uh, the program, and I'm not. I just don't have the time.
Right.
You know,
Sure.
so
What about Recover Loud though? Since you just got
mm,
with that great news about the you're really cross country now. Are you
mm,
going to continue that? Do you think?
yeah. Um, so I spend a lot of time on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I'd gotten away from Facebook, and I'm spending my
Right.
time on TikTok.
Okay.
So on TikTok, I am under the name Recovery on the Road, um, and I was really pushing the idea of interviewing people from around the country in different areas, and doing it over Zoom.
Mm.
And so the last show I did was a gentleman in Pennsylvania, and I believe it went very well. Um, I got
Excellent.
a lot of positive feedback, but it's been 4 months since I've been able to do a show.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah. Right.
I haven't had the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Busy.
Mm. Yes, exactly.
Well, that does happen. I mean, things do change and we get busy.
Yes, yes.
Um, I did want to ask though, well, since we can go back in the past, do you mind if I ask you a few questions about that? We last saw each other in person back, was that 2023? It seems time goes by when
Hmm.
the video the video program came out with your daughter
Yes.
and your wife and time
Yeah. So last time we spoke, it was, I believe, just before going down to the, um,
campus.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And, I'd gone down and it was a pretty big honor to be recognized for the work I was doing. Um, but, one thing that I am doing currently um, is I'm on the board of directors for a local nonprofit that is trying to open a recovery house
Mm-hmm.
slash rehab here in the area.
Oh,
Um, you know,
wonderful.
to bring
Mm.
things that are needed, and hopefully that does something and goes somewhere.
Mm. Mm. Great. We look forward to hearing more about that.
Absolutely.
Are you working on funding right now, or what?
Yeah, that's basically the stage he's at.
Mm-hmm.
um, and I'm on the board with a local doctor and some people from the Lewiston area, um, just trying to get this off the ground.
Yeah.
Mm. And coming back to Caribou,
Mm-hmm.
um, there were a lot of things that were different, you know, than Southern Maine.
Yeah.
Down there, everybody that I knew was in recovery. Everybody I knew was doing something positive.
Mm.
Um, that's not so much the same up here. You
Yeah.
know, um, we don't have a
The
recovery
resources.
community
Yeah.
or the
Yeah.
resources,
Mm-hmm.
um, that other towns do.
I've heard that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and unfortunately, years ago, I was hearing that Aroostook County is where recovery comes to die. You know,
Really.
yes, because there's just no support. There's
Mm.
nobody out there. And I put a lot of onus on the recovery centers and the recovery um, um, community that's built around that center.
Mm. Sure.
And I know in Lewiston we had that. We had everybody screaming, this is what we're doing this weekend. We're going here, we're doing this, we're doing that. Um, you don't hear much about it here.
Lewiston is a tight knit community. I do give them that. There's
Yes.
a lot of recovery going on. I mean, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of programs, and yeah, I remember meeting up with Rosie, Roxanne. Anyways, it was a storefront on
Mm-hmm.
Main Street, and they turned it into a kind of a drop-in center, recovery center.
Yeah. And it was early on in my journey that was open, and at the time my wife was running the center,
Mm-hmm.
and that gave me an in, and we hosted meetings and whatnot, and it was really something special. you
There's a
know
real vibe there. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Portland the same way,
Oh
and
yes.
Bangor as well, um, but we don't have it here.
Mm.
And I tried to bring it, and it wasn't accepted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
So
well. Maybe now. Maybe now is the time.
you never know.
Yeah. Well,
You
good
know?
luck. If you need any help, let me know. Anything I can
Yeah,
do
exactly.
help
You
you
know?
promote or
Yeah, and
yep,
and I'm always looking to make a splash, and eventually
something
I'll
new.
come. Yeah, I'll come up with the right idea and try it.
Yeah. Oh, you will. You'll come up with it.
Hmm. But for now, I mean, I'm still taking people that are interested in sharing their story and recording their interviews, and you know it takes a little longer for me to get the interview edited and set
Mm-hmm.
for TV, but eventually I do get it. I'm looking forward to working with you on that,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Absolutely. Yeah.
and other things
Appreciate
that
that.
are
Yeah.
going on, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah. Thanks. I could definitely use your
Yes.
worldly knowledge. Absolutely.
Here in the county, we've got a great options liaison, and they've got their recovery coaches and whatnot,
Right.
and but I don't hear them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get a chance to see them in action, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm too far removed from the scene, but it's just I wish I could see what they're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
sharing it on social media would be one way to do it. Fort Kent, they have a big community, a bigger community now um, than we ever did because they've got somebody that's pushing their program and really getting people excited for um, recovery. And
Terrific.
yeah, it's just, it's a shame they're an hour away. But eventually I'd like to get up there and be a part of some of their things
Hmm.
and go from there.
Wonderful.
Mm.
You have the wherewithal, it seems like, so I'm sure you'll.
Well, it's quite tiring.
Yeah, I was going to say, because I'm sure it
Yes.
can only do so much.
Yeah, and with work right now, I'm working 40 plus hours a week,
Wow, that's a
and
lot. Yeah.
yeah, so hopefully it settles down, and I get the hang of it maybe, but you know, it it'll give me the time if I need it.
Yeah.
But today's my first day off in a week, and I'm just
Uh,
happy to be here with you, and
I was going to say thank you for taking the time. Very generous
yes,
of you.
yes, exactly. And I'm hoping to do more in the future.
Well, as you say, it's a constant process, and
Yes,
so many different ways to find recovery. I remember you always saying that, and we're
absolutely.
all dealing with things in our own way.
Yeah, and you know that's just it. Because when we're trying to do better, we can pick one thing today that we're going to work on, and then tomorrow pick something else, and then the next day pick something else. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing scenario.
No.
And I think people in the county are more that way. They've decided to quit the drugs that were killing them,
Hmm.
yet they still drink. So um, are we in recovery or not?
Yeah,
You know,
good point.
so and that's the thing. A lot of the people that have come to me to share their interviews, um, you know, they may still have a drink. They may still smoke a little weed. And it's all. And I tell them all. I said that's still recovery. It's just whatever they call it, a different name. You know, um, so and a lot of times that's what turns them off
Hmm.
to sharing their story. You
Yeah.
know, so
Yeah. It is. It is all recovery. It's very.
absolutely,
My recovery is just a little bit different from everybody else's, and we're all different. We all
yeah,
have our own
yeah,
recovery to share. Maybe that's why it works.
exactly. I just basically wanted to share that
Hmm.
recovery is still possible. There's no reason to believe that you know it's not, and the county isn't a place for recovery to die. I think the county is a place where recovery is born. You know what I mean? Um,
Absolutely.
they may, a person may decide to stop one thing and they can't stop another, and then eventually they leave the county to go get better, you know, um, like I
Hmm.
did years ago. I went to Portland and, ended up living in Lewiston for 5 years. Um, so that was really something that I needed, um, to bring back here.
Hmm.
And, hopefully, with this new nonprofit that just started, um, we can get the funding to get the help that the people need here, you know?
Is that nonprofit? Is that going to be tied into the hospital house there, or the?
Um, well,
Or that's separate.
um, it'll all be tied in. He's got some big ideas, and he definitely needs the funds. Um, but it's I don't want to say too much right now because I'm
Mm,
not sure where he's
right,
at,
right.
but
Sure.
he's looking for a big building to do something big in, you know,
Great.
and he's a local from Presque Isle that had gone away, was living in Lewiston, and he met a lot of the same people I had met, and he just he's trying to do something, and I'm not one to discourage anybody.
Right.
Whatever it is you want to do, I'll try to help you do it. Because I couldn't do it. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Oh, you
So,
have a huge heart,
well,
and I know that an interest in
yeah,
you've been there.
yes, exactly. So hopefully I can get involved and be
Mm-hmm.
that person for him, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
And did you want to, for Recover Loud, how can folks still check that out?
Well, they can go to my Facebook page, Recover Loud, and just if you're interested in sharing your story, that's great. Shoot me a message, and I'd be happy to record your interview and get that put out. Um, same with Recovery on the Road. That's still up and running.
Mm-hmm.
You can check me out at facebook.com/recovery on the road.
Terrific. I'll
Mm,
definitely tune in too. Well,
yes.
good luck with everything. And again, I'm delighted to have you on our program again
Mm,
today, Michael. It's been my pleasure. And best of luck to you and all. And like I said, anything I can do to help, let me know. And we'll be in touch, I'm sure, with
absolutely.
I'll have questions for you.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
all right. Well, you take care.
All
And
right.
we'll end here.